We're back to discuss setting corporate ethical standards, 6 steps to improve U.S. business ethics. Number one, top management must adopt and unconditionally support an explicit corporate code of conduct. As we said before, it starts at the top. Employees must understand that senior management expects all employees to act ethically. So, as an employee, you need to understand what are your expectations and understand there could be consequences if you do not act in an ethical manner. Managers and others must be trained to consider the ethical implication of all business decisions. So there is formal training that someone can go through to make sure they're acting in an ethical manner. An ethics office must be set up which employees can communicate anonymously. Whistleblowers are insiders who report illegal or unethical behavior. So we're saying that if something unethical is taking place in your with your employer, are you allowed to communicate anonymously about what's going on? 5. Involve outsiders such as suppliers, subcontractors, distributors, and customers. So remember, they're also stockholders in your company. So get them involved in setting ethical standards. And number 6, the ethics code must be enforced with timely action if any rules are broken. So if someone acts in an unethical manner, let's make sure actions are taken. Now, Harry Markopolis is a forensic accountant, and he was the guy who kept trying to tell them about Bernie Madoff and his Ponzi scheme. He kept reaching out to the Security Exchange Commission about his finding, and they kept pretty much brushing him off until finally it took Madoff's son to reveal the full impact of his scam to the FBI. So again, you want to encourage people to be what we call a whistleblower, which means that you're going to inform an organization about a corporation acting in an unethical manner. So, how to be a whistleblower? Decide carefully and quickly. Make sure you have all allegations filed with the right agencies. File your allegations with as many agencies that are appropriate. So if your company is not responding the way they should, maybe reach out to the SEC, FBI, gather your information legally. So make sure that you obtain your information in a correct manner. Stick with the facts. Do not exaggerate. So if a company embezzled $2 million, don't say it was 2 billion. Stick with the facts if you're going to be a whistleblower. Corporate refers to the position of a firm takes on social and political issues. A, B, C, or D. The correct response is letter D, corporate policy. Okay? Let's talk about the social responsibility that a corporation has. A business has concern for the welfare of society, meaning that that concern is based upon their commitment to acting in integrity, fairness, and respect. Proponents argue that businesses owe their existence to the societies they serve and cannot exist in a society that fails. So we're saying that as a company, you owe your success to society. Therefore, you owe to society to act in a social responsible manner. Companies with good ethical reputations attract and retain better employees. They draw more customers and enjoy greater employee loyalty. So there are benefits to a corporation for acting within an ethical manner. Okay? Let's talk about different types of company social performance. First, you could be a corporate philanthropy. It includes charitable donations. So often you may hear about an individual or a company donating money to schools, to different causes. It's important for corporations to be corporate philanthropy. Also have social initiative, include enhanced forms of corporate philanthropy directed to related to the company's competencies. So social initiative, whether it's for social justice, whether it's for voter reform, whether it's for women's rights, we're saying corporations should have some type of social initiatives, and they're going to use their philanthropic arm in order to make sure those initiatives are being carried out. Responsibility includes everything from hiring minority workers to making safe products. And again, corporate policy is the position a firm takes on social and political issues. Here we have a chart just showing some of the world's biggest givers in 2019. Warren Buffett at the top of their list. Warren Buffett gave over 3.45 billion to the Gates Foundation, owned by Bill Melinda Gates, and for other social justice initiatives. Of course, right behind them are Bill and Melinda Gates, who gave on 2.6 billion to the Gates Foundation. Yes, it is their own foundation, but it is a separate entity, if you will. A lot of times, you will see corporations or wealthy individuals start their own foundation so that they can have funds put into their particular cause. And here you see other organizations, the ventures of the Walton family, Mark Zuckerberg, that had given a lot of money to different types of social causes. Okay? So there are positive impacts of companies. So we know that negative news impacts the views of those companies. When you hear negative news about a company, sometimes it makes you not want to do business with those companies. So many companies will allow their employees to volunteer and help with social agencies. So there may be a day where the employees go to a local shelter or some place of that nature and provide some type of service for those individuals being served. Okay? Here are some examples of corporations showing that they're being social responsibility. I won't go through all of these, you can read these, but here we have Starbucks. When the South American coffee crops were dying from coffee leaf rust, Starbucks Research Development Forum developed rust-resistant coffee plants. So that's an example of a company being socially responsible. They know there's a problem taking place, and they came up with a plan in order to solve that particular problem. Okay? Social media. The primary use of social media is to communicate corporate social responsibility efforts. So corporations like to let the public know what they are doing about the different social issues that may be taking place. So social media allows companies to reach a broad, diverse group and connect with them directly. So depending upon what what objective the company has when it comes to social issues, social media allows them to share their views and participate. Companies must live up to their expectations or face the consequences. So we're saying that you can't just say that you're socially responsible. Show us. Okay? There's responsibility to the investors of corporations. There's something called insider trading. What is that? It is an unethical activity in which insiders use private company information to further their own fortunes or those of their family and friends. So now you have some information that you are aware of that is not made known to the general public, and you use that information for yourself or someone you know for a financial gain. Unethical behavior does financial damage to a company and investors are cheated. So when companies act in an unethical behavior, whether we're talking about Arthur Andersen, Enron, WorldCom, it does have an impact on the investors of those companies. So the SEC adopted a new rule called Regulation Fair Disclosure, which pretty much says that companies are required to disclose information pertaining to their social program that they're involved in. Okay, insider trading. We have Matthew Motama was sentenced to 9 years in prison for overseeing one of the largest insider trade schemes in history while working as a manager at SEC Capital. He made a series of illegal trades that earned the company $275 million. The hedge funder's founder managed to avoid jail time but was forced to pay a record $1.8 billion fine. So, yes, insider trading is illegal and it can lead you to jail time. You're responsible to your investors, also to your employees. Create jobs that allow employees to move up. Treat employees with respect. Offer salaries and benefits to help employees reach their own personal goals. Loss of employment commitment, confidence, and trust in a company can be costly. So if you treat your employees well, you will have loyal employees. So Costco is known for offering the best wage and benefit packages for their employees. Even part-time workers at Costco receive health plans. So I said, why do you think Costco is so successful keeping its employees? They're successful because, again, they offer their employees wages and benefit packages that are quite better than a lot of other companies, and even offering health insurance to their part-time employees. Okay, so now we have nonprofit organizations who often are recipients of funding from corporations. So they receive funding from the corporations in order to help both benefit. So the Red Cross might receive funding from the Walmart Corporation in order to help reach the objectives of the Red Cross. Then we have the Green Movement, right? Which is focused on climate control, being greener, trying to minimize the carbon footprint. So there are environmental efforts as well, trying to make sure that we're being socially responsible. Social auditing is a system of evaluation of an organizational progress toward implementing socially responsible and responsible program. So there's 5 types of watchdogs: socially conscious investors, research organizations, environmentalists, union efficient customers. So they're doing these social audits to make sure these companies are implementing their socially responsible and responsive program. Okay? This slide shows the American Most Admired Companies as of 2020. We see Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Walt Disney lead this particular list. Okay. Internationally, we also make sure we need to have ethics and are still acting in a responsible manner. So there's international standards. We have the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act. We have the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. There's other policies in place to try to make sure that we are acting in an ethical manner, not just domestic, but also overseas. So Nike outsources a lot of their productions in low wage nations, and they've been criticized for that. Nike has taken steps to make sure that there are common labor standards set place in other countries. Okay? Well, that will conclude our chapter 4 lecture on socially ethical behavior. So, to summarize it, corporations and individuals have responsibility to act in a ethically manner. Okay? That will conclude our chapter 4 presentation. Talk to you later.